Klay Thompson injury outlook. This was a topic we knew that we were going to discuss at some point. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Eric, aka Doc, coming at you from the Triple Play YouTube channel, joined by a couple great guests who are part of Triple Play. We have Mr. Bryce Carter on my right, and we got Mr. Jared Hamlin below. How are you guys doing?
Great.
Doing well.
Well, we're here to talk about Klay Thompson. And first of all, I think as NBA fans, we're glad that he's back playing. But he's had a little bit of difficulty with that surgically repaired left knee. He's been missing a little bit of time, been missing practice, has been missing multiple games. And we're going to talk about what it means from a fantasy perspective and from a real-life basketball fan perspective. So first, going to the fantasy perspective, we're going to go to Jared. What does this look like for him?
All right. So as we all know, Klay Thompson had his ACL torn in 2019, and then that was shortly followed up by torn Achilles in the same leg the following season, 2020. And this has changed the way that we look at him as a fantasy asset. Going into this season, not many people stashed him in the IR spot, but a lot of people did. What they did do is stash Jordan Poole, who a lot of people is startable now that he's back injured. He's about 64.6% owned in ESPN leagues, about 78% owned in Yahoo, and he's eligible in both guard slots, point guard and shooting guard, which is extremely valuable, as you know. And he's going to primarily get you points and three-pointers rather than assists, rebounds, and steals, but he's definitely worth a handcuff if you have the slot available.
Yeah, and the crazy thing about Klay Thompson, being known as a great defender, got a lot of steals. He's averaging 14 points per game, 2.8 rebounds, 2 assists, less than a steal, less than a block. So in categories leagues, he's only providing in a few categories, and he hasn't shot the greatest percentage coming back. He does want to get that volume up. And to your point of Jordan Poole, he's scored 20 the last couple games. He is essentially a handcuff for him. He's averaging 30 minutes per game on the season. He's given you some assists and rebounds, 3 each. So, if he's available in your league, you got to pick him up, right, Jared?
Yeah, if he's on your waivers, you got to pick him up ASAP.
Yeah, so even before you finish this video, make sure you pick up Jordan Poole if he is somehow a free agent. Maybe if you're a Klay owner, you're somebody that he wants to target. Now, Bryce, I want to go to you from a basketball perspective. What does this mean for Klay?
I think more than anything, I think the Warriors will be cautious because this is an injury. He's had this injury before last year, and it took him out the whole season, and him re-aggravating it is very bad. It's going to affect his defense. Like when you defend, you're expected to move laterally, do all these different movements, defending all these shifty guards. But when you have an injury like that, re-aggravate it, it's going to be hard for you to make those movements. It also takes pressure off of Curry when he's playing because teams can't double team him because he's obviously a top 5 shooter of all time. And more than anything, they're missing Draymond because he's the leader of the team. He gets Klay and Steph these open looks. He actually is a point guard more than Steph, in my opinion, because of all the assists he gets. And the Warriors system, they do a lot of screens and back cuts and stuff to get Klay and Steph wide open shots or contested shots, and they usually still make it. But, without Draymond, no one can get them the passes that they want because Steph isn't a true point guard. He's more of a shooting guard when he shoots the ball, and he's more of a scorer. So, yeah.
Yeah, and to your point of the Warriors being cautious, Klay Thompson signed a 5-year, $189 million contract beginning in 2019, 2020. He didn't play for any of those years. He has 2 years, $83 million left after this year, all fully guaranteed. So they're going to be pretty cautious with him. That's a pretty heavy investment they have. So, look, I think as basketball fans, we're rooting for Klay Thompson to heal up from a fantasy basketball perspective. Obviously, we hoping that he returns some value that you drafted him for, that you got him in auction league. I would say to be patient with him, to expect the backs to back, and to really just invest heavily in Jordan Poole, whether you can acquire him for cheap or whether you can trade for him. But appreciate everybody tuning in. Hopefully the outlook is positive for Klay Thompson. Everybody that watches Triple Play, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Bryce, Jared, and myself are going to be putting out a lot of future great videos, so make sure you stay tuned for that.